The Global Business Travel Association says business travel is almost at a standstill, with 96% of business trips cancelled or suspended regardless of location. 99% of business trips to China have been put off or called off. It's 96% to Europe. To the Middle East and Africa, it's 95%. And business trips have been cancelled or suspended to the United States by 85%. But a report by Britain's Sunday Times shows the world's wealthiest are still flying to and from the UK on private jets during the COVID-19 lockdown. PrivateFly saw an 85% rise in inquiries in just the first 2 weeks of June compared to the same period last year. Meanwhile, Air Partner, which is a global aviation services group, saw flight bookings for May increase more than 210% versus the same month last year. Well, luxury private jet agent Volantius has also seen a rise in consumer demand and is preparing for an influx after lockdown. I spoke to director Mark Green.
The business really has changed dramatically in the past 4 months. Everything we've been doing has been repatriation for large organisations, large companies who have huge, vast workforces that are sitting away from home, whether it be oil fields, whether it be cruise companies or hotel chains. We've been looking at getting those passengers home, and that's pretty much everything we've been doing.
What's the impact of lockdown, of the pandemic, been on your business?
I do think when we come through this, we'll get an awful lot of new users to the private jet market, particularly. I believe that the people who have been travelling on private jets historically and in the past will obviously continue to do that. But there's also a new wave of people that I believe are going to come through, the new user. Now they have a real reason, and a health justification reason. They can go to their bosses or to their shareholders and say, look, we want to be travelling by private jet because we can ensure that the aircraft are fully sanitised. We have more control of the people that we have on that aeroplane. If they can afford it, I just think they can't afford not to do it.
Is this still for the privileged few, or can you see things changing in terms of costs?
I think the cost itself is not going to change. I think what's more likely is that you might find that there, we talk about bubbles of groups of people. I think what you might find is that, let's say, for example, I'll take an example of a 13-seat aeroplane, let's say. You have a family of 5 who also know another family of 5. Now, if that family of 5 were flying on the 13-seat aeroplane, it's costing them 100%. Now, if there were 2 families of 5 flying on that aeroplane, that's costing them half each. So that lowers the overall cost per head, per family, if you like. And I think that's what we're going to find, is that people will club together.
What's your outlook for the private jet sector?
The private jet sector has been, for the last few months, has been very quiet. There's lots of statistics out there that said that it dropped to around 20% of what it would be expected to be during April, May and June. There's a recovery, definite recovery on the way now. And I think the spike is going to be massive. That is really due to the new users that are going to be coming online. The availability of the aircraft is going to be lower. Most likely that's going to push the prices up a little bit. But I do think that the outlook for the industry, certainly for the next 18 months, until everybody is very comfortable with the COVID-19 issues, I do think that there's going to be a tremendous spike, and everybody's going to be extremely busy.